not know if I'm a millennial or Gen Z.
This video was formed from a live ostrich.
That was obviously a joke. I was born in 2003. I'm obviously Gen Z. I like to say that I am neither. I am not millennial or Gen Z. I am an honorary member of the Black Eyed Peas.
I got a feeling.
I know I'm Gen Z, and sometimes I make fun of millennials for being a millennial. I make fun of my favorite singer for being a millennial. There's this TikTok account. I literally just looked at it and I forgot his name. It's Taha. He makes these videos that are like millennials versus Gen Z doing like whatever.
My dishwasher is broken. Millennial versus Gen Z. Millennial. Well, folks, I did it again. I broke a second appliance in my apartment. Is this adulting? Am I doing it right? Gen Z. My dishwasher is broken.
They kind of made me realize that I'm more of a millennial than I think. So I did a little bit of research, and by that I looked at BuzzFeed articles, took into consideration some of the millennial-like things I do and the Gen Z-like things I do. So before I start, I found out, I think this was because of a TikTok, that it's a millennial thing to say that a song is a banger, and it's a Gen Z. I keep wanting to say Gen Z. Why am I doing that? It's a Gen Z thing to say that a song is a bop, but I say both. Like, I use them interchangeably. So that was just a shocker to me. I probably should have mentioned this before I started earlier with the whole song bop versus banger thing, because there was this whole argument about like a side part versus a middle part, and it's like, I don't know where my hair is parted. It just does what it wants. So the first millennial thing that I do a lot is I say I did a thing. I also like to say I did a bad, but like for like not detrimentally bad things. Trigger warning for self-harm, skip forward like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear me talk about this. Some people will be like, oh, I did a bad, and then they show like fresh self-harm scars, where I on the other hand will be like, oh, I did a bad, I just spent all of my money on my Amazon wish list. You know what I mean? It's still a millennial thing, but it's just right. So I never liked Harry Potter. I never read the books. I may have tried watching one of the movies, but I don't remember. Never really been my thing, but I know that I'm a Slytherin because I took the quiz. I don't use me being a Slytherin as a personality trait. I kind of forgot about that whole kind of thing until today. Like, I don't go around being like, oh, I'm a Slytherin, that's why I do this. I don't know if being a picky eater would be considered millennial core, but I know for some reason it's a millennial thing to like pizza, and I'm not even kidding when I say that pizza is like 90% of my diet. Like, if we don't have pizza in the house or something to make a pizza, there's like maybe a 30% chance that I'm eating dinner that night. I don't do this that much anymore, but I would say doggo and pupper. Sometimes I'll call my dog, like, I'll be like, hi dog. Like, I don't know if that counts, or like doggy. I don't know if that fits in the category, and it's like, I do that for my dog.
It's not like I'm like, oh, look at the doggy.
I feel like that would work though. I feel like that's not, does that fit with puppo and dogger? Or is that just normal? I'm setting myself into a dog crisis. Next point. So like I said earlier, I looked at BuzzFeed articles to do research for this video, and I know millennials love their BuzzFeed. I also used to be obsessed with BuzzFeed quizzes and like personality quizzes, not just BuzzFeed. I used to use Quotev a lot. I don't know if I don't think I pronounced that right. I don't do them anymore, but like, you know, if I'm scrolling through my feed and I see a quiz that's like, pick some colors and we'll try to guess your favorite Cemetery Sun song, you know, something like that. Obviously not that, because like 3 Cemetery Sun fans exist. I'd be the one who would have to make that quiz. I would take it, you know, but I'm not like actively scrolling through BuzzFeed quizzes as my main form of entertainment. So I found out that millennials look at the screen instead of the camera when they take a selfie, and I didn't know that was like a millennial thing. I thought that was just what everybody did. And also saying the word selfie, like, people on Stan Twitter have selfie days where like everyone posts to that hashtag and they take selfies. But BuzzFeed said that using the word selfie is a millennial thing. I forgot I was gonna start this video by doing this, so I'll be right back to show you what I'm talking about. That. Taking like clips of them drinking their coffee, I guess. Millennials love coffee. I'm not a coffee person. I'm a soda person. But same difference. It's not the beverage that we're talking about here. It's the taking clips of them. Now I have to drink this whole soda. I wasn't really feeling a soda. Probably should have grabbed a cup of water instead. Answering a question with yes or no that like didn't make sense as a yes or no question. You'd see this in like YouTube comments a lot. That would be like, let's just say it was like a video with like, that was like very colorful. It'd be like,
Director, how many colors do you want in this video? Yes.
or like, I remember this happened like recently, not too recently, but it was before this recent Broadside tour started. Brendan from Sharia Moore was like, should I dye my hair pink or blue or something like that? And I replied yes, like that kind of thing. I think it's funny. It's a trash can, not a trash can't. This might be like an older Gen Z versus younger Gen Z thing instead of a millennials versus Gen Z thing. But like when I pretend like I'm talking on the phone, like with my hands, I go like this. Apparently, I guess younger Gen Z, I will say in this case, they go like this. Like they're talking on a cell phone. And it's the same way with pretending to take a picture. You know, you go like this. Apparently, I guess, I don't know what younger people do. Do they go like this? Or like, I don't know. Like, I would just assume this. The camera I'm filming on now, you would take a picture like that. I had a flip phone. I don't know if my first real phone was a flip phone, but I had one that I played with. I think the phones that I had were functional. You just like couldn't call or text with them. So do you think that would count? I think the flip phone I had, you could like play around with like ringtones and shit. I don't know if that counts as my first phone though, you know? I mentioned a couple clips ago that I'm a soda person. I'm not a coffee person, I'm a soda person. And I'm definitely like, you know how people be like, oh, don't talk to me until I had my coffee? That's me, but with soda. When I wake up in the morning, that's like the first thing I do. I have breakfast and I have a soda. Or if I don't have breakfast, I still have a soda. I used Vine. I was on the app when it was still there, and you know, I made Vines, but obviously I didn't get anywhere with that. I was there when it was like removed and everything. I think it like went from Vine to Vine Camera, and you could like post Vines on Twitter, and then at one point it was just completely wiped. I don't remember though. I wish I could find my old Vines. I made Vines with my stuffed animals, but I don't remember what my old Vine user was. So I asked on my Instagram story for some stereotypes, and Theo said that millennials buy like cooking gadgets, cooking products is what he said, from magazines, and I don't do that. But it reminded me of how my mom used to do Pampered Chef, and she still buys some Pampered Chef stuff from time to time. And that reminded me of how she used to do LuLaRoe and Paparazzi, which are other pyramid schemes, other multi-level marketing, whatever, and how we have a bunch of LuLaRoe clothes and paparazzi jewelry around the house. Would wearing LuLaRoe be considered a millennial thing? Because I wear LuLaRoe from time to time. That was gonna be the last thing, but I just remembered something. When I was going to go to iParty, I couldn't decide what I wanted to wear. And it was either the shirt that I had worn, or I'll show you the other one. I don't know how I managed to just spot it in my closet and immediately pull it out, but it was this MTV one, right? And I was talking to my mom about it, because, you know, I was trying to get her to help me decide what to wear. And she was like, I don't know, if you wear the MTV one, you're kind of aging yourself. So I guess wearing MTV shirts is a millennial thing. My mom's not even a millennial. I think she's Gen X, but still, I feel like that'd fit more of a millennial category. So apparently wearing MTV shirts is a millennial thing that I do. I don't watch MTV. I mean, I watched a little bit of the show Ghosted because Travis Mills was on it, but I'm not an avid MTV watcher. I never watched it when it was like music related, but I love music, so it fits my aesthetic, it fits my style. That was the word I was looking for. So onto the Gen Z things that I do. First of all, I mean, I use TikTok a lot. I post so many TikToks. If you tried to find a TikTok of mine from like 3 months ago, you'd have to scroll for like 10 minutes. Earlier I mentioned that I know what my Hogwarts house is, but I don't use that as like an entire personality trait. It's the same way with my zodiac sign. I have a story about that it was my second vocal lesson that I did with Josh. He was like, "You're 17, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm 18. I just turned 18 on December 30th. The lesson was in January." And he was like, "Oh, we're both Capricorn, so that makes sense." And he was, you know, a couple minutes later, he was like, "Anyone, no matter when you were born, can get nervous." So I don't know where he was going with the whole zodiac sign thing, but I thought that was a funny story to tell. Yeah, I don't use my zodiac sign as my entire personality, you know? It's not like I was in that vocal lesson with Josh being like, "Oh, I'm so nervous. It's just because I'm a Capricorn." This isn't about my vocal lessons. This is about me being Gen Z. So these are the emojis that I use most of the time to describe laughter, unless I'm like actually talking to an actual millennial, like someone who's actually born in that time frame. Then obviously I'll use this one, the laughing one, or this one if I'm like nervous laughing. The fact that I think about this is a Gen Z thing. I forgot to mention this in my notes, but I keyboard smash. It's one of these. I do that all the time. Yesterday, I called everything my hot girl this. I was going grocery shopping, right? So I needed to grab my hot girl wallet and my hot girl tote bag. This article that I read talks about how millennials think that like Gen Z doesn't know how to do anything or use anything. They'll show like a Walkman and they'll be like, "I bet you can't tell me what this is," that kind of thing. But I'm the opposite. Like, I don't know where like the cutoff for certain trends, I guess, is with millennials and Gen Z. I was talking to my friend Alex, who is a millennial, about iParty, and this was like around the time that I was buying tickets. I didn't know if this man would know who Matt Bennett is, cause like, he's 27. Did he watch Victorious? I don't know. I don't know how much of a stereotype this is because I've never heard this like really be used against Gen Z, but dancing every chance I get, like I'm not gonna like break out into a TikTok dance mid-conversation, but like if I want to put emphasis on something, I might hit the whip. Another thing that I do a lot is like, if I'm waiting for a vocal lesson and I'm starting to feel a little nervy, I might just like pull out one of these, you know? Like I wouldn't say I like dance at every chance I get, but sometimes if I'm nervous, it's like, I don't want to say it's a nervous tick, but it's kind of a nervous tick. Or if I'm putting emphasis on something, like I said. So I guess this would be like a bad habit of mine, is like being like, "Oh my god guys, I'm crying," or like I'm screaming, when visibly I am doing neither of those things. Speaking of crying, I also take pictures of myself while crying. That's such a Gen Z thing to do. I don't know why I do it. Sometimes I think my eyes look pretty while I'm crying, but like it's not like I take pictures of my eyes. I take pictures of like all of me being like crying. I love to say main character. I love to say I'm having a main character moment. I love to be the main character. I tell my mom sometimes like, "Oh yeah, I'll take a walk in the rain," if I'm just having like a main character moment, you know? Something I noticed is that I don't smile in my selfies a lot. Like I kind of make like a straight face. I don't know. I guess I feel like I don't look as attractive when I smile, but I smile sometimes. I like how straight my teeth are. And I like to show that in selfies sometimes. But generally, I don't smile that much in selfies, so I don't know. I have a very broken sense of humor, and when people say that, I guess your mind kind of goes to dark humor, but the place that my mind just went is I had a vase in my room with flowers in it, and it was a week or two old, so I had to get rid of the flowers, dump the vase water in the sink. And when I dumped the vase water in the sink, it was kind of yellow, so I said "piss" out loud, and that's funny to me. I think that's funny. You probably won't think that's funny, but I think that's funny. Why? I don't know. My sense of humor is broken. The last note I have was kind of inspired by one of those TikToks I mentioned earlier. I'll just put up the TikTok.
This is my impression of a millennial versus a Gen Z motivating themselves. Millennial. Just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage can't. Gen Z.
One time I got a death threat online, and I told myself I was gonna stay alive just to spite that person. I feel like that's a very Gen Z thing to do, right? So I hope you guys liked this video. I thought it was a cool idea, and I figured I would try it. If you liked this video, like it. Comment down below, what are some of the millennial or Gen Z things that you do? Maybe some things that I forgot that I also do. Hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, share with your friends, all that crazy, wacky, weird, amazing, fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I never know how to end these things.